This is ridiculous. I swear, when I sat down here, it was so quiet. It was just like peace and like, oh, beautiful day. I promise you, as soon as I went to press record, cicadas, like, y'all serious? I swear, they didn't make a sound until I pressed record. Damn. All right, fam, they decided to be quiet for a minute. So how y'all doing, fam? Hope you're having a wonderful day. So today I want to talk about, I want to share 5 things that you can do to help soothe or ease your ascension symptoms. I've been having a lot of people talking about how they're just over this whole ascension. They don't know what to do. They're trying to figure out how to get through this, and they're sick and tired of it, and like, what's next? And I felt like that before, definitely. And so I thought that would be a good idea to share the things that helped me to deal with ascension symptoms after this awakening, whether it was on an emotional level or physical symptoms as well. So number one, the first thing that I would say that helped me helped to ease my ascension symptoms on an emotional level is to live in the moment. Don't be looking at me like that. It's not some, spectacular thing. Living in the moment. So, when you live in the moment, it helps you to let go of the past, and it also stops you from sitting around daydreaming about the future all the time. A lot of times we want to kind of like rush this whole process. It's like we're sick and tired of it. We want to know what's next, and we're trying to rush the process. And you can't rush a plant to grow, just like you can't rush your soul's evolution. You can't rush it. When I went through the stage, and I mentioned this before, when I went through that stage of trying to find my purpose with this whole awakening, and I was like, I started getting into this place of feeling depressed and just like, what is next? I don't know what to do. I want to move on to what's next. I'm just sick and tired of this. I'm depressed. I'm like, I'm not happy. I was going through all of this emotional healing, and I was just not satisfied and just not happy. And what helped me was one day when I just got really frustrated, and I was just like, okay, fuck it. I don't care. Whatever happens, I don't care. As soon as I said that, my ear started ringing. High pitch ringing. And it just kind of like startled me for a minute. And it was like, okay, so as soon as I said, I don't care, fuck it, whatever happens, I don't care anymore. When I did that, it was either the higher self, spirit guides, something trying to communicate with me like, yeah, you got it. That's right. Stop trying to figure everything out. Stop trying to be in control and just let go. Trust the universe and trust your soul's evolution. Trust the process. So I would say that's one of the first things that helped me, was to live in the moment. Not focus on the past, not focus on the future, but living in the moment. That's what helps you to trust the universe, trust the process, and let go. Number 2, spending time in nature. Let me tell y'all something beautiful about nature. Nature is powerful as hell. It is healing. Let me tell y'all something. There's no coincidence that I ended up 4 hours away from Miami in a whole bunch of nature, and then suddenly I go through an awakening. I grew up in Miami all my life, or at least since 4 years old. But I grew up in Miami. And 4 hours away from Miami, Now, Miami is like the concrete jungle. The only thing the closest thing to nature would be the beaches, which is beautiful too. But this green, this growth, this nature, like, there's something very special about this. It really is. Now, in 2019, a lot of people went through an awakening. I'm pretty sure that had a lot to do with the whole alignment of the planetary alignment, stuff like that. But it's, like I said, it's no coincidence that I was guided in this area. Now, I was with my ex when we moved here, and it was almost like, yeah, it was a good idea because he had a son who lived in Orlando, so we'd be closer to the son. Like, it was other reasons that I did it. But being here around all of this nature, all of these birds, these animals, I mean, you got deer and wild pigs and rabbits and turtles and alligators and cranes and eagles and hawks and you name it. And the green, the growth, the nature trails and everything that I'm near. I just ended up right near all of this nature. And it's no coincidence that I started going through an awakening right after moving here. The nature is healing. And here's an idea. This is something that I didn't read anywhere. This is just my thoughts and what makes sense to me. So if you are an old soul and you've lived other lives, many other lives on Earth, right? Now, Earth once had way more nature than it has now. So most likely if you're an old soul and you've had lives on Earth, that means you were probably around a lot of nature. So if you grow up in the concrete jungle and then you suddenly get introduced to nature, that's something that your soul will remember. And so that is something that can trigger an awakening or even help you to find out who you truly are, to tap into who you really are. Same thing as if you meet someone. Now, many of us, we've met soulmates and people that have made a great impact in our life. And it's because our souls remember their soul. It's the same thing with nature. So I feel like nature is extremely healing. And let me tell you, when I remember traveling, like going to Georgia and stuff like that, driving through Florida. And I remember seeing houses like in the middle of nature. Like there were houses that would be surrounded by trees and just miles of land and like no other houses around. And I would see that and I would be like, oh my God, that is scary. How could people live somewhere like that? But that's because all I knew was the concrete jungle. Now that I have been in this nature, please let me have a home in the middle of land and nature with no neighbors around and birds and all kind of nature around me. Please let me have that. Please give me some of that. Please. Like that is like a dream come true now. I used to be afraid of that idea. Now it's like, I gotta have it. I gotta have it. So spending time in nature actually heals you. It heals you. I sure hope they don't turn this world into straight concrete, because even where I live, they're just building. But nature, I don't know if it sounds like BS to you, but nature is healing. Nature is like, there's something amazing about, like I said, there's no coincidence that after moving near all of this nature, that spiritual awakening triggered. Nature is healing. So get in some nature. Get you some nature. Number 3, grounding foods like potatoes, vegetables, fruits, water. Now, this is really tricky because I understand that when we go through an awakening, our appetite changes in many different ways. A lot of times we don't know what our body needs. Our body knows. And so our body will tell us by us craving certain things. I went through the stage of craving vegetables, raw vegetables. Like I was like, oh, and it was so good. Now it's like, I'm kind of over it. But at the time, it was just like raw broccoli and celery and carrots. It was just so good. Like I was like, why did I like it so much? I mean, it's all right. It ain't that good. But I was just like loving it. Just like, just craving that food. And that was the body knowing what it needs. So I would say follow your body. What it says. Sometimes you might crave junk. I'm not really sure exactly. Maybe that grounds you, you know, who knows, you know, just like some people they don't even eat meat, but they will eat meat to ground themselves. So it all depends. You kind of got to like see what your body really wants. So I can't even tell you, hey, eat this, eat that, because you might not want it. You might just not have the appetite. I am right now, the way I am is I don't even want any food. Like I don't even want to eat. Like I'm making myself eat because I don't want to shrivel away. But I don't even, just like I'm sick of food. I'm just sick of eating. I can't explain it. So I drink. There's a group of crows in the tree and I don't know what they're going through. They are really going through something over there. But grounding foods actually helps. So if that's something that you can do, if you can like switch up your appetite, if you're not like me where you just don't even want to eat anything, I have to drink like heavy protein shake, you know, try to keep my weight up. But grounding foods, fruits, vegetables, those type of things help your ascension. You probably already went through the craving of these different foods, but I would just say follow what your body is telling you to eat. If you still have an appetite and you're not like me who don't want to eat anything, then try switching up a few things in your diet. That might help. Number 4, movement. Some sort of movement or exercise. I'm not saying you got to go hard like me, be doing lifting weights and stuff like that. Simple movement, walking or dancing or riding a bike. Like there's lots of different things you can do for movement. Even though strength training, lifting weights is very good for you, especially if you're a little up in age, we lose muscle as we get older. So lifting weights is actually very helpful. It's, in a way, it kind of like rewires your body, which actually helps with any type of ascension symptoms. I truly believe that the fact that I am very active, and I like my strength training, I like my high intensity cardio, stuff like that. Me doing that, I believe, prevented a lot of symptoms that I could have had. I truly believe it helped with my whole ascension and awakening process by staying in shape, working out, lifting weights, like really pushing my body. So, like I said, it doesn't have to be anything intense. It can be yoga. Listen, yoga is amazing, okay? I didn't even realize how amazing yoga was. Yoga is the type of thing that if you got into a yoga routine because you had some kind of pain somewhere in your body, the whole mind, body, and soul connection that yoga does, you will mess around and one day just wake up and be like, wait a minute, what happened to the pain that I had over here? It will go away and you won't even realize that it went away. That is the power of yoga. Yoga is amazing. There's something about the twisting and the bending and stuff like that of your body that is very healing and very helpful. So movement, some sort of exercise, get into some stretching, some yoga, some strength training, dancing. One of the things I love most about when I'm working out in the garage is playing my hip hop and I'm in there juking while I'm working out. So, movement, some sort of movement, get out and move. That is something that definitely will help with any type of ascension symptoms, so especially when they're physical ascension symptoms. And number 5, last but not least, crystals. One of my favorite crystals is carnelian. It's an orange crystal. Carnelian, I feel like it makes me excited. It makes me more creative. and it's orange. So I know that that's connected to the sacral chakra. So maybe that's the reason for the passion, the excitement, the good mood, like it just raises my vibration and it makes me want to be creative and do stuff. That is one of my favorite crystals, and it's carnelian is the name of it. But the life-changing crystal would be moldavite. People are afraid of moldavite, and I don't blame you. Moldavite, I mentioned to y'all before, I wore it on Friday and over the weekend, and by Monday, my life was flipped upside down. It's almost as by Monday, I knew that there was time, it was some shit that had to go. Like, it just, I don't know if it just helped me to lose my ego, which the ego, the ego is why we hold on to certain things. My eye is twitching. It feels so weird. I wonder if y'all can see it. The ego makes you hold on to certain things. And if the moldavite helps you to kind of balance that or lose some of your ego, then that would be the reason that you just be like, okay, a whole bunch of shit got to change. It got to go. I look at moldavite almost like having a baby. Like, it's painful as hell, but the beauty that comes out of it or comes after it is amazing. And that's what I see moldavite. Listen, I don't even know how we have more than one kid, women. After we feel that pain, how do we do that again? How do we not just say, hey, listen, tie the tubes, whatever, get rid of it. I ain't doing this no more. I think we forget. We forget about that pain. And that's how we end up having more than one kid. I don't even understand how. That is some painful shit, okay? So I look at moldavite like it's putting you through this painful ass, experience. But there's something beautiful that comes out of it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And what that is you, the true you. That's what comes out of it. So moldavite. When I bought my piece, a lot of people always ask me, where did you get it from? When I bought the piece that I have, which is about that big, a little piece, it was like $30. And it was like some years ago. It was before moldavite got found out about. People start talking about it everywhere. And the price skyrocketed. But I bought it at a crystal shop. So if you want a piece of moldavite, number one, it's going to cost you a whole lot more than $30 for a piece that big. That might be a few $100. But if you can find them on like Etsy, there are some people that sell certified and it's actually real. It's not a fake one, but people are selling fake ones too. And if anything, I would say go to a crystal shop. That way you know what you're getting. Google, look and search, find a crystal shop. And if you want to give a shot at flipping your life upside down for the better, get you some moldavite. So that's it, fam. That's the 5 things that I've used to help me with my ascension and emotional, physical type of ascension symptoms. And just as I'm finishing up, here comes the cicadas again, right? At least they stopped for a minute. So fam, that's it for this video. I hope it helped. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see y'all next time. Peace and blessings.